When you started the negotiations right before Iran had a program that was 19,000 centrifuges and growing, you've knocked it back to 6,000. 12,000 kilograms of enriched uranium, enough for multiple weapons, you've knocked it back to 300. An enrichment level, 20% and climbing, you've knocked it back to 3.67%. A heavy water plutonium facility at Iraq, they're dismantling it. They were on a path where they had a huge program and it was growing. For 15 years, this deal with the inspections mechanisms, et cetera, produces a dramatically better status quo for the United States, for regional allies, for the world. Bombing Iran to end their program would only take a few days. Mr. Secretary, you've been at war. Do you find that to be a realistic statement?
Well, I find it to be a factual statement in the sense that it would only take a few days, but I don't find it to be a realistic statement in terms of a policy, because the implications of that, if you're not at the end of your rope, in other words, if it's not last resort, would be extraordinarily complicated for the United States.
If we were to do that, that's an alternative. If we were to do that right now, would we have international support for that?
Not on your life. No way. In the middle of this
and would we have an international legal basis for doing it? We were in Israel in January. A number of us met with Israeli intelligence officials who said they have concluded that Iran is trying to get to a threshold, but that Iran has not yet made a decision to pursue and acquire nuclear weapons. If we were to initiate a war against Iran when they had not yet made that decision, would there be an international basis for a war?
No. And furthermore, we'd be proceeding without any of our allies, which is not a small consequence.
Let me flip it around on you, because I want to talk about credible military threat. If this deal is done, and if Iran confirms to the entire global community in the UN, Iran reaffirms that under no circumstances will Iran ever seek, develop, or acquire any nuclear weapons. They pledged that to the world. We're all in agreement. And then they break toward a nuclear weapon. Would we be more likely to have the support of international partners if we want to take military action to stop them from doing what they pledged not to do?
Absolutely.
Would we have a greater legal basis to justify taking military action to stop them from doing what they have pledged not to do?
Yes.
And would we have, because of an inspections regime plus existing intelligence, a lot more knowledge about how to target military action, increasing the credibility of our military threat?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Mr. Chair.